You know, we talked about coming into the week against Southern Miss. It was a bunch of things rolled into one. The next game, senior day, home game, home win streak, and of course we had the added flavor of a chance to win the West and go ahead and clinch that and get that behind us. So all kind of things on the line. There was no doubt that Southern Miss was going to come in ready to play. Said the whole time I knew they had a great team, great defense. Rival game, all the above, and I guess it lived up to all that expectation. Give them credit. They started fast. I think we, really from our opening kickoff, we had a mistake there, and a combination of them playing well and us probably not starting too well. We got behind, fought back, got the game close at halftime, and then really came out the second half and I thought looked a lot more like us. Had a chance to put the game away up 20-13 and just could not. And once again, give them credit. They come back tied up, and then the rest is kind of history. We go into overtime. Defense comes out, holds them to, I think that's the first coin toss we've won since Coastal Carolina, which has been working out pretty good. We did win that coin toss, chose to go on defense, get the 3 and out, hold them to a field goal, and was not much question we were going to run the ball in that situation, put it in Spencer's hands, and the rest is kind of history. So great feeling, so proud for the players and the coaches and our staff and our community and all the people that fought so hard just to, to give us this opportunity. And it really is that sweet. It is that good. And, of course, as I tell everybody, it doesn't slow us down from how hard we're going to work. And we know what's in front of us, having to go to Texas A&M, how well they're playing, what kind of team they've got, SEC, all the above. And then we want to, come back the next week against a really good Middle Tennessee team at their place, and try and secure home field advantage for the championship game. So we got plenty of time to look forward to that. But right now our focus is on Texas A&M and getting ready for this game. Questions?
A&M had a safety go out less than a minute left in the game last week. Going to be suspended the first half for targeting. Is that something that might you include in your game plan to maybe take early shots downfield with that missing piece there in their secondary?
Yeah, I think both teams constantly are looking for matchups. What's their strength against what they may perceive as a weakness for us? Are we looking at somebody? I don't know how much that plays into every decision, but there's always decisions. You're going to look at every matchup and see where we think we can gain an advantage. And I really don't know much about his backup, but I do know that would be something we would be aware of, just like I think they're always aware of who's injured for us or where we might have a weak spot.
Was it kind of hard getting to sleep Saturday after?
Yeah, I really relate it to Christmas. When you wake up after Christmas Day, it's the 26th. I mean, so when I wake up on Sunday, it's Texas A&M. So yeah, I mean, it was just a great feeling. I was so happy for just all our people, and the stories of people crying up in the press box and in the stands, and just the true joy of our players on the field and all of the above. It was just a great night and relished every minute of it. And I probably got 2 or 3 hours sleep. I think I was in here Sunday about 5 o'clock again, my normal routine. But yeah, it was a great night. It was hard to get to sleep for sure.
What's it like winning a game like that, considering the implications, winning a division title, not just winning it, but winning it in the way y'all did with the walk-off touchdown?
Yeah, it's, of course, your stomach's in a knot every second of the game, and we just had so many ebbs and flows. I kind of related. It seemed like everything could go against us. I mean, we hadn't turned the ball over. We turned it over 3 times. We have a mistake on a kickoff return. I don't know if I've ever had that with a veteran returner. We were looking at it this morning. That ball's bouncing right at him, and then it takes a hop toward the sideline, and he's kind of in the motion of getting it. And from that start to some penalties that kept drives alive, it reminded me a lot of Coastal Carolina, but it was 100% different. Our attitude, the positive energy on the sideline. There's AJ over there encouraging the offense and getting Tyler going, coaching him up. People pulling for each other, and that's the difference in where we were then and where we are now. But But it was almost like when we knew we were going to overtime, I think everybody on our sideline just felt like we were going to win, and that's no knock to those guys, because they'd played a great game against us. But it doesn't get much better than that to win it in that fashion, if you can survive it, So it was pretty cool.
In years past, Coach, a game like this would be considered just all about the paycheck.
Yeah.
That you would get.
Yeah.
You get a different feel with this group that you guys. I'm sorry, the team is probably always taking.
Correct.
But does it have a different sense about everything?
Well, I just told them, the ranking puts another bullseye on your chest. I always go about what's their mentality. They're playing really, really well. I'm looking at their front. Just, it's what you would expect out of a top level SEC team. You know how much money they pour into their coach and their facilities and their program, and so that's the things I look at. But I know how our players feel, and the things I have to think about right now at this juncture is where's our bodies. We've gone X amount of time without an open date. I think we do a terrific job of taking care of our guys, so there's going to be some things I'm going to do a little bit different in practice, knowing we've got 2 more big games coming up after this. But as far as what's our mindset is to go and try and win the game, So I just know who they are and what it looks like and being at their place. And, there's a reason those teams are pretty successful at home, because it's such a big advantage. Their crowd does such a good job. But I like our group. I like how they compete and how they play, and we're just gonna go take our chances. And I don't know if I ever really have fun. People say go have fun. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I do think we're looking forward to going to compete.
Just looking forward to seeing that, to how they respond to that type of situation.
Correct. Yeah, and I think this is a little different than the Florida team we went and played last year. I thought Florida was really, really good. Defensively, they had struggled offensively, where this team's kind of hitting their stride. No offense to Auburn, but could have, should have won that game 2 weeks ago. So they've had they're in every single game, and it's just a really good team, really well coached. But it'll tell a lot about us again. Once again to go into this environment, see how we compete.
Coach, 7 more sacks on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the confidence that your guys are playing with on that side of the ball?
Yeah, we were really disappointed in that screen pass we gave up early, and and I knew there was going to be some things we just had not seen, and but to respond from that, and then the way our front is getting after the passer is just, and you had 3 or 4 others where somehow he got the ball out. It was exciting to watch that group. Getting Trey Crawford back was a big deal, and we played basically without Garrett Marino, so. That front is really doing a good job. Once again, we played a lot of man coverage in the second, right after that, and really kind of went into almost a lot of man free on first and second down. So got to give our secondary credit as well for holding up.
Speaking about that defensive front and how well it was played at home this year, they do have one loss, and that's to Clemson, who has a terrific defense,
right.
Top defense in the country. Do you see that might be an advantage for y'all because y'all's defense have been playing as aggressive and dominating as
Yeah, I think, as I always say, defense travels, and if you're playing great defense, you've always got a chance, and it's week to week, they've got a dynamic quarterback, skill everywhere, probably, no doubt the best running back we've seen other than what we see in practice against our own self. This guy is just electric. And then their scheme is really good, so it's going to be a good test for our defense again. But I do think when you play good defense, that travels on the road really well.
Does that fire up the offensive line and a guy like Spencer going up against another back like that of that caliber to kind of prove that, hey, we run it pretty well here too?
I think so. I think you're always looking for challenges. I think. They were disappointed in how we ran the ball Saturday, and that's what happens if somebody stacks the box, and we've got to be able to take advantage of throwing the ball. I think we did some. We got to do a better job of that, in case that happens this week. So we're going to be trying to be ready for that. But this is a really, really good front. I'm not just saying that. They're really good, and I think historically that's kind of the case for these guys. But it's a really good front, and I feel pretty good about our front as well. So, I think it'll be a big challenge for our line, no doubt, and tight ends.
How about AJ? How's he?
He's getting better. He is getting better. I mean, there's no doubt there's a situation he's dealing with his shoulders. Nothing that he can't play through. We'll probably fix this. There's no doubt we'll fix it when the season's over. But it's all about getting him stronger this week. He was throwing the ball better at the end of the week. And our goal is to get him back, whether it's this Saturday or Middle Tennessee or even the championship game. He will play again, before the year is over. I think that's all our plan. And Tyler's doing well for us too. So, but his plan and our plan is to play him again before the season's over.
There was nothing easy about Saturday through it all, and maybe the way the team played. But what does it say about where this team is now than where it was at the start of the
Yep.
season? And you alluded a little to different field in the Coastal Carolina game. Just how hard you guys have come.
I think it's night and day. I kind of relate it to how we were last year when we think we're ready for ball games, and then you go out and play the game. I think it's the same thing with adversity. You think you're ready for adversity, you talk about adversity, and then how do you really handle it? And, I always say there's a fine line between a guy being a true competitor and hating to lose, and that almost borders on that, if you really look at it, that's almost bordering on the side of, you're out of control because you hate to lose and you don't want to lose any individual competition, but you got to control yourself. And you've got to stay positive, and you've got to pull for each other. And I think that's why I keep going back to that Coastal Carolina. When we came in after the locker room, we said, this is how it's going to be from now on. And we're not questioning calls. We're not questioning what happened. We're literally going to move on to the next play. And I think they've done that. I really do. I think they've decided that's what they're going to do. I talk about it all the time, especially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that things are going to happen in a game, and it's how you deal with them. And, that's hard for all of us. Like I said, there's Andre Wilson, who's as good a returner as there is, sharp as attack, and he takes the ball out of bounds on the opening kickoff. That put us in a hole, and interceptions, and, we did a few uncharacteristic things. We got to move on. We got to keep playing. We got to put that behind us, and I think those are the things that we did. And that's what I hear from the coaches. The receivers were pulling for the quarterback, and AJ was doing this, and the O-line and the defense. It was just that's what a team looks like. And that's fun to see our evolution to where we are. Here we are. I don't know if you can get in a much more hostile environment. How are we going to handle that? So it's we can't rest. There's more work to do.
Have you played at Florida last year in an environment like that and going to 1-8 Texas, crazy about football
Yep.
as we are here?
Sure.
100,000 people in that stadium. What kind of lessons did they learn going into an environment like that last year against Florida and bringing it this year?
Well, we talked about last year going in, hey, we play at Legion Field. It doesn't get any more historic. We're a pretty big stadium. Now, it's not, always jammed to the rafters with people screaming at you. But we had a few guys, and I was a little surprised that were, looking up in the stands in the pregame, which I wasn't too happy about. I'm hoping we're past that. This is a veteran group. We've kind of been through the wars together. I think that Florida game was a good experience for us, and we just got to go play the game on the field and use that energy, their energy. We talk about it on the road, bring our own energy. It is us. It's our little group, and the few fans we'll bring, but it is our own energy. And we're going, I think that experience last year will help us, so no doubt.
Anything else for Coach?
When you decided to stick with it, when the program was shut down and all that, you basically put your career on hold. How sweet is it to get the payoff that you got Saturday, and even more payoffs down the road?
Yeah, it's hard to put into words. Just I think satisfaction and I don't know if vindication is a word but I do feel when we went and asked people to support us, give your money, believe in us. I asked players to believe in what we were going to do and how we were going, and that's the pressure I put on myself every week of there's a lot of people counting on me and us. And so it is very, very satisfying to be at this point right now and say, yeah, we asked you to step up. We asked you to believe in us. and we've delivered. So, you know, a buddy of mine who owns a restaurant told me, and I was asking him about his food, and he said, you know, our goal is to give it to you better than you asked for. And that's kind of, you know, what we want to do is, you know, you hoped it would be good, and it was better than you hoped it would be. So that's kind of how I feel. Just got to keep it going.
Yellow prime rib.
Yeah. It was barbecue, but it was that good. As you reminded me yesterday, though, we do have to keep this going, so no pressure. Only good as the next one, right?
Probably one of the best feelings I've had in a long time. For me personally, it was the first championship I've ever won on any level, so it was a great experience and something that I'll probably remember for the rest of my life.
And then there's a feeling that we got some more work to do, right?
Definitely, always. Never anytime we feel full or complacent or feel like we've arrived. That's never the feeling, because we still have 3 games at most left, and you know the plan is always to win as many games as we can towards the end of the season. So we, you know, never can feel like we've arrived.
What might be overlooked more with all the sacks and the total defense, maybe y'all's third down conversion rate up. You know, what's that mentality going into third down? You know, obviously, you know, like to try to get those guys behind the sticks on first and second down. But what's y'all's mentality going into a third down?
Get after the quarterback. Get after the quarterback. Hopefully it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 or more. Get after the quarterback and get the offense back on the field. You know, because that's just our biggest job to do. You know, every single time that, you know, a third down comes up, we just have to understand that you know this could probably be the play that could change the game. Whether it's Trey sacking him for 3 times like he did on Saturday, or Zach making the last play, making it 3rd, 2nd and long, or with it 3rd down and getting off the field. So, yeah.
How excited are you about getting this challenge to say, hey, are we deserve the things that you've accomplished on the field so far as a defense, but now to do it against you know, more elite competition, to see just how good this unit can be?
You know, it's always like kind of like a measuring stick to see how good we are, because, you know, I haven't got to see much of Texas A&M, but I do know they will be extremely talented. You know, they have a really good quarterback, really good running back. So yes, it would have us, you know, understanding how well we are and how, you know, how like I feel like if we show we can beat them on Saturday, I feel like we can compete against anybody.
Coach was saying in pregame with the Swamp last year that, you know, you saw guys looking up at the lights, looking at the stands, you know, kind of the, you know, maybe the moment was, you know, felt like maybe it was too big, possibly. Do you feel like you guys are past that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I feel like that because, like Coach said, this is a veteran group, and majority of the guys that are playing now all were here last year, so they understand what it looks like going into a hostile environment. Like, because last year Florida was about 80,000, and this year A&M probably be something around the same. So a lot of the guys are experienced, and there's a lot of leadership on the team too as well.
Going back to Saturday, that last defensive possession in overtime, what were y'all saying? What was the mindset when y'all went on the field and knew you needed to get the stop?
We knew the stop was inevitable, and we knew that's something that we had to get, but our mindset was rip the ball out, try to score right now, end the game right now on the defense. You know, you're always looking past it, you know, as a bigger goal instead of just getting a stop. So maybe an interception or forced fumble or something like that.
Fitz, you guys are 9-1. You're ranked 25th in the country. They're 6-4. They're not ranked. But you guys go into Texas A&M thinking maybe we should be the favorites here.
Well,
how confident are you you can win?
Well, every game that we play, we always expect to win, or if we didn't expect to win, might as well not go. But, you know, just a lot of respect to those guys because, you know, on a week-in and week-out basis, they play a lot of good opponents, a lot of great teams. So, you know, I just think that it will be a great matchup at the end of that game Saturday, and we will see when the score hits 0-0.
Talk about the ranking and how cool it is to see your name number 25 in the coaches poll. How cool is that?
Honestly, I probably must have looked at it maybe 10 times yesterday, even though I knew it was there. But it's just a great accomplishment. It's something that we set out as a goal in the beginning of the season. And, you know, it's just something to work off. just can't get complacent, can't feel like we arrived, and still have to keep going harder every week, because now every team is going to be a bigger target on our chest, and every team is going to try to knock us off.
Where were you in the dog pile?
In the dog pile? Bro, I kind of got there late. So when I got there late, I just jumped on everyone. And
What was that like?
Man, I don't know. Well, last year when we blocked the kick against La Tech at homecoming, the feeling was kind of similar, but I can't really express it. The biggest way I can say how I felt is just something I know I'll remember, and I'll probably tell my grandkids when I'm 80 years old or something.
Man, it's been a heck of a ride. When the program closed, I went to Southern Miss, so it was also a sweet feeling beating Southern Miss, but it's kind of like when I came back, these are the kind of things I was expecting, just because I knew the kind of Coach Clark was, and he was part of the reason I came back. I fully believed in him to bring us to this point, and it took us 2 years, which is way shorter than anyone would have guessed, but we're here, and we're happy to be here.
What about how things have changed? Within the program, it's one thing, but even in the sense out of the program with the support and stuff, how different is it now from where it was then to where we're looking at it now?
It's night and day, and like as painful as it was to go through, I mean, the support is really night and day. Back in 2014, I remember there wasn't really that much support. There wasn't really many people paying attention. If anything, the crowds weren't the same. Ever since we shut down, came back, it's been insane. Like the crowds are way bigger. Obviously, there's been a lot more fan support. I even have people coming up to me and like when I'll eat at restaurants and stuff, say hello. And I never had. Well, I didn't start in 2014, but it's kind of the same thing. There's a lot more people like actually taking notice and watching, and like people know who UAB is. When I go back home in Jacksonville, Florida, people actually know what the team is. Like they know the name. It's not like I say UAB and they have to ask what that means to me. So it's kind of more of a national stage, I guess, for us.
How has that changed the way you view life, facing adversity like this and going, yeah, you're going to face some ups and downs, but if you do the right things, something like this can happen?
Man, that's a tough question. Yeah, it kind of helps with life, I guess, because it's kind of been this giant, for everyone here, we've kind of committed to this vision of getting to this point, and we really did start back with nothing. I don't know if you guys saw the old facility. It was just basically a sand pit. There was no grass on the field. We were in a dentist's office? It was like, I remember sitting on the floors for meetings, and it's kind of something Coach Clark also put into motion. Kind of the coaches here, kind of being a part of the culture, is kind of like we're gonna win some games and everything's gonna change here, and you believe that vision, and it's been really cool to be a part of it and watch it all evolve. We're in this nice facility now. There's nothing like that back in the old days. I seriously remember sitting on the floor with a group of like 6 other guys because there wasn't enough chairs for us to sit in, watching film on like this tiny little TV. And now, obviously, we're sitting in this facility. It's much nicer. So it's been a big transformation over the years. Coming back, what was it, 2 or 3 years waiting, and you just kind of seen everything transform. So.
Speaking of the fans, a lot more fan support this year. They've taken they seem to have gotten a name for you this year, Vocaltron. What do you think about that name?
Yeah, I don't know how that came about. I think it's kind of funny, but I don't pay too much attention to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know why they chose isn't that like Megatron? He's not good, is he? It's not a good thing, I guess. Maybe it is. We'll see.
How about seeing your name in the rankings? How cool was that?
Oh wow, that's kind of surreal. That's kind of when you go to a school you're choosing out of high school. It's kind of a big thing. You're trying to go to the best team, and it's a big payoff. Seeing your name in the rankings. It's kind of something you dream of as a kid. It kind of solidifies you up there with top teams in the country, obviously. And when you're playing, people take notice of you, but just because you have a ranking next to your name. So it kind of helps with us because like every game we play is a big game. We have target on our back. We're 25 in the country now. I mean, people are going to be looking to beat us just because of that solely. And that just kind of goes hand in hand with everything this year. We sealed up the West. We're going for a conference championship now. I mean, it all is exemplified in how people are going to play us now, So.
Does that ranking do anything to kind of your mentality going into a place like College Station?
I mean, it's a big game, as I said. It's what you dream of as a kid. Having the rankings good, I guess, but that's not what we play for. We're playing just to get as many wins as we can. At the end of the season, that's kind of the end goal we're going for. It's nice to have a ranking now, but we're going for the 10th win now. It's just the next thing, you know. And we've accomplished a lot this season, but we've got bigger goals, you know. We're West Conference champs, but we still want a conference championship. We want to win a bowl game. We want to push this record as far as we can take it, you know. See if we can be one of the best teams in the history of the school.
What's it like just drilling all those balls on kickoffs and getting those touchbacks? At any point, do you ever just try to aim for the uprights and see if you can get one in?
They tell me not to aim for the uprights, and we're supposed to kick left of the hash just in case I do kick it short, but it's felt good this year. It's last year I made a very small adjustment between this year and last year, and the biggest thing was not improving my leg strength, because I've always had that kind of leg strength. It's more just the consistency. When I'd miss-hit it last year, it'd probably go to the 10 or the 5, and that was kind of what I was trying to clean up this offseason was my miss-hits. I wanted them touchbacks too, and it's even when I don't hit balls super solid this year, I'll look up and be like, okay, well maybe I can get away with this one, you know. And a lot of it's also I don't like making tackles, so I got to find a way to hit touchbacks, because it's no fun chasing guys downfield at my speed and height. So.
You said something about stuff that you dream about as a kid and stuff like that. What would be the perfect finish for you on Saturday?
Game-winning field goal. I'm sure we'd like to win by a lot of points, but I love kicking. Kind of was a dream last week. I kind of thought I was going to have a game-winning field goal against Southern Miss, which is, since I've left it, I've dreamt about just about every night. So no big deal about that. But Spencer can have that one. We'll see. My dream finish would be a game-winning field goal against A&M. That'd be pretty cool.